I used for presentation last week. So we are going to do hands-on today, but before then, I just want to know how many of us did some practical session, maybe your personal learning, what you learned, what you did. Please, let's just rub minds together as I set up my devices. So what did you do over the week? And then what knowledge did you acquire at the end of the day before today? I would like everyone to talk as we take turns. So what did you do? What did you learn? Have you installed Postgres? Was it like? Have you been able to create a database and all? Please, I need, if you can talk, please take the mic. Thank you. And please, let's make it interactive and fun. Who's going? I'll start calling names. Ferdinand, what did you do over the week? I mean, what did you do after Ferdinand? Michael. After Michael, Bolaniwa. After Bolaniwa, thank God. After thank God, Amaka. So let's take turns. What did you do? How was it? Have you been able to install any of the softwares? Have you done any practical sessions? What's like? This meeting is being recorded. What are your downtime?
Hello, good evening, sir. Yeah, I must be sincere. Over the week, I've not been able to do any of these, perform any of the tasks because I actually just came back from a journey today. I traveled out of my base, and the network over there has been kind of frustrating. So as such, I couldn't do anything. Just getting back to my base now, and I quickly just rushed to join this training session.
All right, so that means you didn't do anything. Thank you for that honest feedback. The next person, please. Hi, Stephen. You're welcome. It's good to have you. So we are just trying to do a pulse check to know what we've done so far based on what we've learned.
Okay.
How
can I speak?
What have you done so far?
Yeah, can I speak? Michael.
Yes, go on, Michael.
Yeah, so I've been able to install anyways. So I've been able to install, I've run this. So the only issue I had was running the software after installing. It took me a while to realize how to do, because I was thinking after installing, I'll be able to see the icon on my desktop, but I wasn't able to get that. So I was able, in the end, based on my knowledge, I was able to find out how to load the software. So I opened it, but I didn't get the plain page to be able to start my line of code anyway. So I was able to load it. I saw the whole stuff, but I've not been able to play around it that much. That's all. But I've installed the software.
Thank you so much for that. I mean, having to take a step to install Postgres, I think it's something that thing is technical, quite technical to install. Having to do that, I mean, that's a good one for you. Yeah, the next person, please. Ola, is that you? Or the person has gone off. Thank God. Thank God it's not here. So, Amaka.
Good evening, sir. I don't know if you can hear me clearly. Good evening, sir. Good
Yeah,
evening, everybody. Okay, please, sorry, my house is a bit noisy because my kids are back. Okay, so the last week I was able to install Postgres, sorry. Although it took me a lot to install, then I was able to practice everything we were taught. I've been able to build a database. I've been able to create my own schema, been able to create my database, my schema, I've been able to insert, I've been able to update, I've been able to select all. where I started struggling was the syntax because I started reading the books, but I started struggling at some point. So I stopped there because I couldn't get it properly. So it wasn't giving me the right feedback I needed to. So I stopped at that point. So I was hoping for this class.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I mean, you've done a whole lot. I think I would even allow you to take the class. Just on a lighter note. Thank you for that. I mean, it's good to see that
Yeah,
you
hello,
took
hello,
it
sir.
above and beyond. Yes, who's talking? Thank God,
This is
yes.
Thank You mentioned my name earlier. I
Sir,
was
you
trying
mentioned
to
my name
update
earlier. I was trying to update for my laptop, but I think the system and it took some
difficult
difficult
here.
behavior.
I can't. I think something happened.
Okay, so
Okay,
I
so
was asking, what have you been able to do so far? What have you
yeah,
been able to do so far?
so I actually tried installing the app, but then it didn't work out for my system. I think I have to just upgrade my system because I tried several, but it didn't go. It didn't work out.
Okay,
Hello?
all right, it's fine. Yeah, I can hear you. All right, so
Oh, okay.
we are going to jump into what we have today. Please, I need to share my screen on this other device, please. Can somebody help me? Let me share my screen from this device, please. Who is there? Just help me to share my screen, please.
Safi.
Okay, I will share my screen now so we are able to go to what we have today. Thank you guys once again for people that did practical sessions. God bless you. For people that are yet to do, don't worry, you will catch up with us. I'm sure you guys have gotten this document. Please go through it. It's important for you to understand what you have on that document. I would be going through this document, but not sequentially, because there are some things that you need to know and some things that you can just read and nice to know, and there are some things you can just read on your own. So we will talk about some key things you need to know, and then last time we met, we talked about databases that is in just a regular table. All our information we are inside one table. Yes, that is good, but that is not scalable. In a real world environment, you have different tables that have different functionalities, right? So we are going to talk about that, and that's where we are going to move from today. Please, if you can hear me, tell me you can hear me. If you can't, tell me so that I can speak louder. So I'm sure you by now you would know you've known what concepts of databases are, some key concepts like the databases, like the schemas, like the tables. I think I didn't talk about primary keys, I didn't talk about secondary keys, then relationships, because that's where what we are going to be doing currently. So we are going to take a real world situation, a real world business, and we are going to unveil what is happening in the database and see what links to what. So we all know the definition of a database, we all know the definition of a schema, we also know tables contains rows and columns, but there's key concepts now that we call a primary key. So for a typical business, all your information are not stored in a particular table. For instance, if you run an e-commerce business or a store, there is a table for the customers, there is a table for your products, there is a table for the orders that was made by your customers, and there is a table for transactions. These are like some basic tables. Please, can you hear me? Hope I'm not talking to myself. As we know, my
Yes,
rules
yes,
are
yeah,
Your network is breaking
Yes,
a
we
bit.
can hear you loud and clear, sir.
okay. Thank God, you say your network or my network because I'm on fiber.
no, sir. We can. I
Your
said we can
network
hear
is
you
okay,
clearly.
sir. We can hear you very well.
We can hear you loud and clear,
Okay.
sir.
Okay.
We can hear you very
So
well.
Okay, so thank you. So for a typical business, for instance, we own a small company that sells products. You will know that for everybody that comes to buy from your side, you have a customer table that has information of the customers. For instance, their customer ID, just identify them, their first name, their last name, their emails in case you want to send them Christmas emails, or their phone number in case you call your customer. So all those data will be stored inside the customer table. Then we have a table called the orders table. Orders are what are the customers ordering? Your customers now that you have in your database, what do they order? The customer that came last week, what did the order list show? So that means for every customer you have, there is a corresponding order that the customer has made before. Then we have then the other table can contain your order ID, your customer ID. Now, so why do we have the customer ID inside the order table? Is because customers make orders. So you don't want to store the person's name, phone number, and email each time the person comes. You want to store the person's information once, then the transaction that happens all the time, you store it in another table called the order table. Picture these things that I am saying, but let me just show you this guy now. Now you have, for instance, this. Just take it that this place now is called the user, and this one is called the customers, right? Okay, let's use this other table. Yeah, this one works. The customers, right? The customers, they have an ID, then they buy products. The product that they buy, right, has an ID. So that means there is a link between the customer and the product, right? There's a link between the customer and the product. So for each customer, there is a corresponding product that the customer bought. Then there is a connection between the product and the transactions. That's to tell you for every product a user or customer buy, there's a transaction that was made. So you need to store those transactions in another table called the transaction table, right? So that I just named 4 tables now. First of all, the customer table that has the information of all the customers. Then the order table that has the information of all the orders your customers make. Then the transaction table that has the information of all the transactions that your customer make. Then you can have the product table. The product table is the list of the products you have in your, say, e-commerce shop or your physical store. So we just created a relational. Now, this is what we call a relational database. That is what Postgres is typically used for. You will store information in different tables. Then there is a way it is linked together. Then how do these things link together? For instance, if you see between customer and product, right? The customer has a customer ID and the product ID. Now, this product ID is what links customers to what? The product table. So now, on customers, please take note of this concept. On customers, the customer ID is the primary key, right? Is the primary key because it's identifying all customers in the customer table. But the product ID is the foreign key inside the customers table. Why is it foreign key? Because it's not meant to be there. It's just there to link customers table to what? Product table. So that means this product ID is the same with this ID. Oh, sorry guys. Is the same with this ID here. So that means on customer, product ID is what? A foreign key. Product ID is a foreign key. So that is the key that links the product table to the customers table. If you understand this, I think 30% of your knowledge in databases is already sorted. Guys, do we understand this? Should I take it again? I want to build this foundation because The same, if you understand it once, that means you understand what the diagram is showing you. Do you understand this? I need feedbacks, guys. Feedbacks.
I think I would like you to take it again, sir, because like
It's
I
better you
understand.
take it again, sir.
Okay, thank you.
It's better you take it again, sir.
What I want to understand is the left and the right table. Which one is
Okay,
the product? Which one is the customer? Are they different?
Okay, so now let's work on, okay, let's work on only one table. Hold on, let me just do something. Let me just expand this table so that we don't get confused. I want to see, let me just delete this one. Let's just work with only this table so that you would understand it. Okay, let's just work with only this table. Perfect. Because that's in, I think that actually confuses you people. Okay, now this is the picture I'm trying to paint for you. Now take a look at this. Assuming there's a customer, you know that every customer comes to a shopping mall to buy a product, right? So that means each customer has a link to the product table because they buy. So then there's what we call one-to-one and one-to-many. So this one is one to many. This icon, this thing here you see that looks like a river, three, what's it called? Hands, right? Is saying that each product has many relationship to the customer. What that means is if a customer can buy as much product as possible. So that is one. But let me take the primary key and the secondary key again. We have the customer table, and the customer, all customers has a customer ID. We have established that. And that customer ID is called the primary key. And the primary keys are, let me just go back to define now. See, primary keys are unique identifiers. They uniquely identify each record. That means a primary key helps you identify each record in that table. So customer ID here is a primary key and it helps to identify unique records on that table. Right? Then we have the product ID. Product ID here is a foreign key. Why is it a foreign key? Is because that product ID is on another table called the product, which is what is here, right? So for each customer to have a relationship with their product ID needs to exist in the customer table. This gives the customers, gives you access to what the customer has bought from the shop. For instance, on the product table, we have the product ID, the product name, the brand, and the price. But on the customer table, we have the customer ID and the product ID. So that means what links the customer table and the product table is what is the product ID. So the product ID on this customer table is called the foreign key. Now let's go and see what we defined as foreign key. He said a foreign key connects tables, enforces referential integrity. Leave that one. Just know that a foreign key connects tables together. So that means if I want to connect the customer table and the product table, I will need a foreign key inside the customer's table, which is what the picture is showing you. But let me leave that one. Let me go between the product and the transaction. For there to be a connection between the product and the transactions, there must be a secondary key. For instance, in the transaction table, we have the transaction ID. You know that is the primary key, and we define a primary key as a unique identifier of records in that particular table, right? So then it also has the product key. So the product ID, which is a foreign key. So that tells you that there's a connection between the transaction and what the product. There's a connection between the transaction table and the product table. You get, and what is the connection? It is what the product ID, which is what the secondary key. I will take the last one between the transaction table and the customer. Customers does transactions, right? So how do we link the customer table with the transaction table? You get, how do we link the customers table with the transaction table? So there should be something either on transaction table or on the customer table that links both of them together. So that's called, it's either a primary key or a foreign key. But a foreign key links table, while a primary key helps you identify unique records inside the table. Now, we are going to code this thing, but I just want you to understand it. I will show you my Postgres now, so that we will just do one or two tests. For instance, let me just quickly zoom on this. 1 minute. For instance, I created a new table called, please confirm you can see my screen, please.
Enlarge it a bit.
I'm trying to enlarge, but it's not enlarging. Is it fine now? Please confirm if it's fine.
Is there a way to enlarge the screen a bit? Because some of us, our eyes are wonderful.
Okay, let me see if I have a zoom. Okay, there's a zoom out. Okay, so okay.
I think it's on a full screen already. The other one's on full screen.
Is it getting better?
It's better, it's better. I think it's okay. Yes, it's better.
Okay, perfect. So now, guys, please understand, I just showed you a diagram, but this is the code implementation of what I just showed you. I am creating a table called Lagos customers. Now, as a business, I want to track my Lagos customers, people that buy my product in Lagos. All right. So I'm creating Lagos customers. I have customer ID. Now, mind you, I told, and it's serial and it's a primary key. Now, what did I say about primary keys? I said primary keys helps identify records inside your table. So our customer ID is a primary key, but why do we have serial here, guys? We have serial here such that for every customers you put on the database, you don't need to put in their customer ID. It looks at the previous customer ID, then it adds 1 to it. So that means if you put the first customer, it will give it 1. The next customer, it will give it 2. So it's serial. It increases 1 step at a time. That's why it says serial. Please know it. Customer ID is serial. That means it looks at the last number and increases it by 1 for the next record that you are going to be imputing. Then the customer table has a customer name, their first name. We all know that this is variable character, varchar. And then I am introducing something called not null. Not null means that field, that column should not be empty. Please, if you can see, we are going deeper and deeper. Anywhere you see not null, it means that table or that column in that table should not be empty. So there must be something there. If it's empty, your database will bounce it back. Then there's a last name, variable character 50, not null. Then there's email, variable character unique. What does this means is no 2 emails should be the same. So if you put in the first email, amaka@gmail.com, and you went to put in another email like that, it will bounce it because it is telling you that all emails needs to be what unique. So this is more like a typical customer table I have created for my Lagos client. Now, I have created also a, a product table. Now, the product table has product ID. For every product, we have a product ID. You know, if you go to somewhere like Spar or your big supermarket, you can look at their product and you will see an ID on it. You get. So, and that's how they used to identify the product. In this case, the product ID is also serial and is our primary key. The product has a name. Say, for instance, you want to buy a Mac M2 laptop, right? That's the name of the product, right? It's variable character. It is not null. I have explained not null. Then the price now, the cost of that product is in decimal. Why is it in decimal? It's because, for instance, you have 100 naira. Most times you put 100 dots or 0.00. So that means it's in 2 decimal places. So that's our standard in Nigeria. So the highest you can put as a whole number is 10. Then it is what? It is 2 decimal places. 2 decimal places, right? And it's also not null, right? I will go through everything. Then if you have a question, you just ask me. Please, as I said, ask your questions. So I created another table called orders because a customer that buys a product is likely to make an order. We have an order ID which is still serial and is our primary key. Then we have customer ID. Now take note, we are seeing customer ID here, which came from where? It's coming from this table, right? It's not making sense. This customer ID is coming from this Lagos customers now. So who can tell me the function of this customer ID now here? What's the name of this customer ID on this other table? Is it an ultimate key? Is it a universal key? Or is it a foreign key?
The foreign key.
Amaka, that's the idea. I need other people to talk. Guys, what is this key called? Is it an ultimate key? Is it a master key? Or is it a foreign key? Nobody's saying anything. Hello, guys. Are we here?
Yes, sir, we are here.
No, it's not you alone. I mean, where are the guest guys? Please, guys, say something.
We are here, sir. We are here, sir.
I asked a question. This customer ID is coming from the customer table, right? So what is it called? What is the customer ID called in this order table? It's called the foreign key, since nobody wants to send. I explained it before. Where you see a primary key existing in another table, in that table, it is a foreign key. So at this point, it is an int, it is not null, it is referencing. Now, take note, it is referencing another table, which is Lagos customer, and is referencing the customer ID. So please note this line. This is your way to connect 2 tables together. To connect the order table with the customer table, I introduce a foreign key called customer ID. It's an int, right? And it is not null. It's references Lagos customer, which is this guy, at what? At customer ID. Then we have the order date, is the date the customer made an order. Then you will see that the data type is called date. So that means dates will be put inside your table. Then it is default. You use a default date. Then what kind of date? It will use the current date. So that means you are not the one entering the order date. is the system helping you to populate into the other table and the other day to be filled automatically. Don't worry, we will do this hands-on, then we are going to show you what it is like. Then, lastly, I have a transactions table. Transactions table is all the tables that help, is the table that helps to capture all the transactions that has been done or is being done by a customer. Now, this table has transaction ID. If you take note, every table has an ID. That means every table has to have a primary key because that's the key that you use to identify records inside that table. Okay, then the transaction ID is serial, that's the data type, and is the primary key. Then we have the order ID. Guys, what is the order ID? This is a foreign key because it is coming from the orders table, right? It is int, that's integer, and it is not null. I said not null means that field must not be empty. You must fill it up with something. So this order ID is referencing this order table, and where is it referencing it? On the order ID. Please, guys, know these things, know these things, know these things. And I found out that I didn't get anybody asking me why do we have apostrophe in this order. Nobody was asking it. Why do we have an apostrophe inside as the name for the order table? Is because if we remove the apostrophe, order is a keyword in Postgres. Order is a keyword. Now, keywords are reserved words that the compiler of the Postgres software uses for some functions. So we cannot use order. You see, it is looking as bold as table and other things that are bold there. So why we use string, we use quotes, is to tell you that we want this to just be regular text. It shouldn't be a keyword. So that's why we use that. I hope that is clear, guys. Then back to transaction table. Then under the transaction table, we have the product ID because it's what people buy that you are going to okay, Tayo, fine. I just saw your text. It's fine. Don't worry. Just take your time and be safe. Be safe. All right. So so the product ID now is a reference to the product table, right? So it is a reference. So it is a foreign key that is referencing the product table, which is on top. Then we have the total amount. This is the total transactions that was done. The data type is decimal. It is 2 decimal places, and it is not null. Guys, so far, do we have a question before we move on? Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions? Any questions, guys? If none, so I think we are able to move on. So what I just created for you now, I just created a table like this with my SQL code. I just created a table like this with my SQL code. So we are going to go back to our SQL and we are going to run all those things. If you run this code now, you are going to be creating all these tables, but I have done it once, so there's no need to go again. Let me just refresh my business schema, then you can see all I have there. So let's see. Where did I even have my schema? Sorry guys, I'm coming. I'm looking for my tables that I created. 1 minute. I created this earlier. I don't know why it's not showing. So let me quickly look for where my tables are. Okay. This is customers. Okay, let me check the Postgres. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, sorry. I have it in my CBC. Okay. Let me see if my Docker is running. So guys, let me. Okay, it's running now. Okay, so let me just recreate all these things again. Let's just run this. Let's just run this code in another schema. Let's pick up a schema. Let's run it in this Postgres public schema. You get. Let's create it here, and then we'll run it inside the public schema here. I will run it here in the public. Then I'll do query now. So now let's first of all let's create a table called Lagos customers. If you create this table called Lagos customers, I copy that, I come here, I run it, right? I run it, I select all, I remove the comments. So we are fine with this, right? If you run this one, you are able to create a table. You said query successfully run. So I will just refresh this my schema now and see if I have. I will refresh this my public schema and see if I have that listed here. Okay, take note, there are now two tables. If you can see, this one I created here, Lagos customers, it has been added to this page. Let me just take away the students so that we don't get it mixed up. Let me just remove this student table. Yes, I'll remove that. So we've created our first table called Lagos customers. Then we are going to create another table called the product table. The product. Now this table contains all our product, but first we need to highlight this guy so that we don't run that line of code again. Then if we paste our product, you will see that we have three columns. Firstly is the product table, is the product ID, the product name, and the product price. So we are going to run this table, this code now. You see it was done smoothly and fine. So what I will just do is to copy the ones I have created already and paste them here so that it will be fast. I will just copy the order table and the transaction table. I'll copy both. I'll paste them here. Right, I'll paste them here. Then I would run the order table now. The order table, I will run it. It was created. Then let me refresh this one so we are seeing it. So take note, I have created the Lagos table, the order table, and the product table. Lastly, let me create the transaction table. Transaction table is now this. I will create the transactional table, then I will run it, and if you can see, it will run without an error. So if you refresh here, you see that you created 4 different tables. One is for your Lagos customers, then the orders, the product, and the transactions. Any questions so far?
We see, can we see, there's a way you always show it under when you come down, like, let's see the tables and how it's laid out. Let's see
Okay,
exactly
yes,
what this
because
looks
of
like.
I zoomed in so much, so you cannot see that part because I zoomed in. You cannot see that part. 1 minute because okay, let me see. So if I do it now, you see, but because I zoomed in, you wouldn't see that part, but it's all working. So guys, any question, we can replay this thing again if you guys don't understand. But I believe those of you that joined the class last week understands to this point, right?
So we understand to this point.
I will need to call name. Thank God. Do you understand? Lawal, Michael, Calvin, George, Joseph, Mercy. Do you guys understand so far? Augusta, it's good to have you.
I'm not at 100% on it yet, so just following.
Yeah, good evening. I joined the class kind of late, so I really don't understand certain things at this moment. But
Okay, perfect. Next person, please.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Ma. You're welcome. It's good to have you.
Thank you very much.
How's it been? Do you understand to this point? Or let's start again from beginning. I can take it again. I mean, my goal for you is for everyone to understand. If you don't understand, I will take it up again.
I did not. Please, can you?
Okay, definitely. I'll take it up again. Don't worry, guys. I'm here for you. Who else wants me to take it from the beginning again? Okay.
I would
I
actually
will take it up.
I like that, please.
Say again. Say that again.
I said yes, I would like that, please.
All right, guys. I will go back to our presentation and I will start up from here again. So please don't think that you're taking us back. No, everybody needs to understand it. If you understand it, for me, my day is made. All right, so I will start from here. Last week we defined some major terms. We defined some major terminologies around databases, and we defined what a database is. We said a database is an independent collection of schema, rows, and data, just where your database lives. And we did some hands-on where we created tables, we did a whole lot hands-on practicals, and everybody was on the same page. So I also told you about schemas. Schemas is a way of logically sharing what you have in the database. Logically regrouping of a database object. Objects in a database, you are regrouping them. For instance, in my head, it's like a department. For instance, you created a database for a company called GIG, right? And you have a table, we have schemas for the human resource, you have schema for the finance, you have schema for the operations. So those schema are logical separations from the general view. For instance, there is a way you can set up your database that the people in finance cannot have access to what is happening in human resource. The people in operations doesn't have a sight of what is happening in human resource. So schemas are like you are logically grouping database objects, just taking it as departments in a database or compartments in a database. Then database, once you create your database, you create your schema. Then the next thing is to create your tables, because tables are like the foundational part of your database. It has your rows and your columns. Okay. So that's why we call it relational database, because data is being stored in columns and in rows. So that's it. Then, if we are going to create a relational database, right, there should be a way to identify your records in your table. For instance, if I ask everybody for their information now in this class, you find out that some people with names are the same, right? So some people names are the same. So how do I identify people that has the same name? Something must be a unique identifier to identify everybody in this table, in this class. For instance, it can be your date of birth, and hopefully some people will have the same date of birth, the same month, the same year, the same day. So what is the logical way to get people's record uniquely? That's where we start assigning IDs. You want to say, okay, the first person in this class is an ID of 1. The second person is an ID of 2. So if I come and just shout number 1, I don't need to shout your name, your phone number, your email, and your no. If I just call number 1, you know that you are number 1, because that is the way to uniquely identify you. And there will be no 2 number 1s inside the database. So that's why we call, please mute. So that's why we say primary keys are ways to uniquely identify records. So that means no 2 records are the same. Primary keys identify records, and it doesn't allow 2 records to be the same. That's it. Then we have what we call a foreign key. A foreign key connects 2 tables together. Now, when you talk about relational database, that word relational there is the way of linking various tables together, you get, and connecting them together so that you can have information across board. So what helps you to connect table together is called a foreign key. Guys, know this thing. If you know this thing here, if you travel to the US, you see the same thing. If you travel to Afghanistan, you see the same thing. Right? So know that primary keys are unique identifiers for records. Also know that foreign keys are what? Are table connectors. It helps to connect tables together. Then we have rows, then we have relationships, which we are going to talk about. I just wanted to introduce these
Sorry, sir.
2 new concepts. Yes.
Yeah, I just want to clarify that foreign keys. So are we saying it's a common key that appears in multiple tables? Is that what it means? Like a borrow key?
It is a borrowed key. Yes, it can appear in too many tables if those tables are interconnected.
Okay.
If those tables are interconnected, then there is something that will be connecting them. Then that will be the foreign key.
So then the primary keys means this is you, but you have multiple functions.
Which one? The
I
primary
mean, the
key?
primary key means this is you. I'm just trying to give an illustration like this is you with multiple functions, which is the foreign keys. That's what the foreign keys.
Okay. So let me take
I
it
don't know if
again.
I'm communicating at all the way I put it.
The primary key just identifies. Okay. Say for instance, we have
It makes
everybody on this table, on this class in a table. So how do I identify you? How do I identify Uzo? How do I
my primary name,
identify
which is the primary key.
Augusta? Is the primary key that helps us identify each person within the table.
So
Then
our name is
anything
our
that,
primary key.
yes. So anything that takes us to connect to another table, right? Then what will do the work of that connection is the foreign key. That should be basic enough, right?
Yes, sir.
Anything that is taking you from your primary table to another table to connect, right? That is a foreign key. All right. So that said, I will show you guys the diagram again. This is what I was showing before some people joined. So for instance, this is a company, an e-commerce company that has a database, right? They have 4 tables. Okay, let's just highlight 4 tables. They have the product table. This table contains everything about what they sell. Okay, let's say for instance, spa, not spa. What is this one? Spa, for instance. They sell televisions, they sell fridges, they sell everything. All the products that they have it in their database. Each product has a product ID that they've given to that product. Each product have a product name. Each product has the person that made it, either LG or Hisense. Each product have a cost. So that product table is on its own. standing on its own somewhere, right? Then there is a customer table. Customers comes into the spa and they want to buy some products, right? So that's to tell you that for each customer that buys a product, there is a link between the customer and that product. So now, what is that link? Now, previously I said anything that takes you outside your table to another table is a foreign key, right? Now, in this customer table, guys, in this place, in this customer table, what do you think is the primary key and what do you think is the foreign key?
The primary
Anyone?
key will be the ID and the foreign key will be the product ID.
Perfect. The primary key is the customer ID, then the foreign key is the product ID, because that this thing here, this product ID has nothing to do with the customer in this table. It has everything to do with the customer here. So that means this ID is linking towards this product table. So that's why you see the connection between the product and the customer. I mean, this should make sense. So that means every customer that comes to spa buys a particular product. And guess what? You can even buy multiple products. So that's why I said the customer and the product table has a one-to-many connection. That means one customer can buy multiple products. So that means if you look at this angle, okay, look at this hand here. If you look at this hand here, it's showing one here. This is like a strike. If you look at here, it's showing you like 3 connections. So that means there is a multiple connections on the customer side, because a customer can buy 2 or more products.
That's
Guys,
the relationship.
that's that relationship. Now, this is where we now start talking about relational database. That's the relationship now. If this thing doesn't exist, that means the product table will be existing on its own in isolation. The customer table is existing on its own in isolation. There's no connection. But this now helps you to connect it. So we use product ID to connect the customers to the product table. Is that making sense, guys?
It is.
All right.
Aside
So I would,
Yes.
yeah, go on.
So what about a case of where a customer, or let me say multiple customers, or as many customers buying a single product?
Okay, so now, for instance, this table now, the customer table has list of so many customers. It can be
Yes.
1,000 customers, but they can still be buying one product, and the product ID will be assigned to each of them buying that same product. Each of them buying that. So there is no limitation with the amount of customers that can buy a particular product. For instance, during 2020 COVID, everybody was buying nose masks. You get? Everybody was buying nose masks. So that means so many customers are buying one product. But that record will be for each customer's record. That's where you see their own, how many Thank God bought, how many Augusta bought, how many bought. Everybody's buying one product, but it is stored in their own various records as per what they bought per day or per week or per time. So there is no limitation between how many products different customers can buy. The database will still store it against everybody's record. Is that clear?
Yes, it is.
All right, so I would explain the product table and the transaction table. Now, guys, look at it very well. Take a look at this. I need somebody to tell me, between these two tables, right, which one contains the primary key, which one contains the foreign key?
You mean on the
Transaction
transaction table?
contains the foreign key.
The transaction table has a foreign key, right? So which
Yes,
of
it
them
does.
is the foreign key there? Product what? ID.
Product
So
ID.
that
ID.
means,
And
thank you.
customer
So
name.
that means The product ID is the link between the transactions and the product table. You get
So what about the customer name, sir?
the customer name can also be coming from the customer table. Right. Thank you. Who asked that question? Thank you. So if you take note, there is a customer table here. So that means the customer name should be coming from the customer table. So that's why you have this link. This link that you have here is the relationship between the customer and the transaction. But it shouldn't be customer name because a lot of customers can have the same name. What I was expecting them to have here is customer ID. Customer ID, but they have customer name. I don't know what they are thinking, but I mean, that's what I feel should be.
I think the ID is also the customer name most cases, and that's why we have middle names to differentiate all names.
So that's and it will shock you that this 5 person can have the same middle name, first name and last name. Haven't you seen it like that?
I understand that. Phone number comes in to differentiate that as well in some cases.
Phone number. Anyways, phone number is also like an
ID
identifier because no two persons have the same phone number.
Exactly.
But it's better for you to have your own ID, the way you do your own identification of your customers. If not, if you use external entities as your form of identification, what if phone numbers change from 12 digits and 10 digits to 4 digits or 14 digits? So that means your database is not scalable. So why not you create your own means of identification? For instance, we give serial. Serial means for every customer increase by 1. So if the first customer is thank God, the customer will have a customer ID for 1. And the next customer is Amara. Amara will have an ID of 2. If the next customer is Doing will have an ID of 3. So that's how you can create your own customer ID. Please, guys, is this clear before we go and see the code that we created now? Is this clear,
sir.
guys?
Thank you. Yes.
Okay. How about the rest persons? Is this clear? Can we move forward?
Yes, we can. It's clear.
All right. So now let's go to our code now. Now you can understand this code now.
Sorry, sir, we didn't discuss the cashier.
No, leave that one. That one, I just wanted to know those basic one because I mean that one can be pretty much confusing. But if you understand this, if you pick that one up, you will get what's happening there. So, guys, let's.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
On your last statement, you said that a customer, one can create serial number for customers, like
yes,
1, 2, 3, 4. So assuming now the customer comes back frequently to that same place, does that mean that person is going to have multiple numbers? Or if a customer comes only once and never came back to that place, does that mean that serial number is abandoned?
Yes, because that has been assigned to that customer. You cannot reassign numbers. So what if the customer comes in maybe later on after 5 years? You're now still recreating. For instance, in a school where you have match numbers are a form of identification for students, right? So what if somebody now take a time off school for like a year, and the school went to now give the match number to somebody else, and the guy that took a time off for 2 years came back, and he cannot see his records because the match number has been assigned to another person. So for every identifier for what's it called now, for any one customer, that should exist no matter how long. For instance, for those that did NIN when it started, your NIN number is still valid. Even if they tweak the database, it's still that ID that will be your own. There are some people that has a particular phone number since forever. That's why they will ask you to go and register your SIM because they want to map your phone number with your name. So even if Okay, for instance, real world situation, BVN. Now, you can go to a bank and what they will just ask you is your BVN. So once they put in your BVN, your records shows, right? So what if somebody, God forbid, died and they now said, okay, this person is dead. They now give that BVN to some other person. And in real sense, that person didn't die. That person is just in coma for like 2 years or 6 months. And the person comes back. So that means your identification, your serial number should be robust enough to take as many numbers that would come into your database. So that's why you have your numbers in 10 digits, 11 digits. So that's to tell you it's expanded enough. Before, bank accounts were how many digits? They were, some banks were having 8 digits, some banks were having 12 digits. Again, but CBN came and said, okay, let's regularize this. Let every bank account be 10. I think it's 10 now, right? That's the standard so that they are able to query anybody's account at any point in time. So no matter what, you have to keep all the serial numbers that are assigned to your customers, you have to keep them intact in case they return some other time. I don't know if I answered that question.
Yes, I understand, sir. And I understand more why MTN is issuing out numbers that have not been used for a while.
Yes.
They issue it to other customers.
Yes. So those new ones, so those people that owned it before, they are no longer able to use it. Their records might be archived. Then that number is now assigned to another person, and that person becomes the active user of that account. All right. So now let's go to code. Let's go to code. With that said, I believe you guys would understand. Sorry, I'm zooming out Z of A. You guys will understand what I have here in my table now. So look at this code. I created a table called Lagos customers. Lagos customers has 4 columns. The first column is customer ID, which is serial. Now, I just explained serial. Serial means if the first customer is 1, the second customer will be 2, third customer will be 3. It's not you assigning it. The database assigns it itself. It goes and look at the last customer number, then add 1 to it and assign it to the next customer. And as I said, is the primary key. What did I define to as a primary key? A primary key helps to identify records in a table. So then it has the first name, the last name, and the email, right? These are the information of the customers I want to have in my table. Then I created another called the product. The product is, it contains the product ID, it contains a primary key, that is the primary key, it has a product name, and it has the price. Please, if you have any question concerning the data types, let me know. I will explain each data type. Then I have another table called orders. Orders has the order ID. Now it has the customer ID here. Now, guys, what is this customer ID called? Thank God, what is it called? Foreign key. The foreign key. Why? Because it is what will be linking the order table with the customer. So that's to tell you, customers make orders. So that means you need to identify which customer made a particular order. So that's why there's a link between the customer table and what? And the order table. Now it's referencing the Lagos table, which is this one. It's actually referencing this one. Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank God. Then the last one is the transaction table. Guys, which of these here is the primary key? Which of this is the foreign key on this table? Transaction ID, we know is the primary key, right? Then order ID, is it the foreign key or the primary key?
Order ID is a foreign key.
The foreign key.
Okay. How about The product ID is a foreign key or a
It's a
foreign
foreign
key.
key as well.
So that means the transaction has 2 foreign keys, so that we want to know which transaction contain what orders and which product contains in the transaction. You get. So now, mind you, there is no connection between the transaction table and customer table, right? Because here there's no customer ID, but there is a connection. Who knows? Who can tell me the connection between the transaction table and the customer table? If you know this, I'll give you scholarship. Because here now there's no customer ID, right? But there is a connection between the transaction table and the customer table. Who knows? Who can see that? Think.
It will be through the order ID.
Perfect. I love this. So there's a link between transaction to order table. There's a link between the order table and the customer table. Guys, you see what I said? This transaction table here does not have customer ID, but it has order ID. So that means the transaction table connects with the order table, and the order table has a foreign key connection to what? To the customer table. So that means there is a connection between transaction and customer, but it's not a direct connection. It's a proxy connection. That means you need to connect to another table that will connect you to customer table. Does this really make sense, guys?
Yes, sir, it does.
Oh, sir.
It does make sense. It does make sense.
Perfect. So if we have done all this, then let's just insert some information on these tables and see what it would look like. I will just pick up a whole bunch of something I've written before. Let me just pick up, so there's no need to write. But you please write. Okay, let me move these guys down so that we can see our code up there. I will paste some bunch of codes. Then we are inserting into customer table now. So guys, we are inserting. So we are inserting into Lagos customer first name, last name, and email. So why are we not inserting customer ID? Is because the customer ID is serial. So the software would assign that by itself. So it will give this first person 1, give second person 2, it gives this person 2. But let me insert it and see. So we are inserting first name, last name, and email. We did this last week, so there's no need, except for those that came late. So what are we inserting? The values. We are inserting Chinedu, we are inserting Opafo. This is their email. And also, if we run this now, you will find out that we are able to insert into that table. I want to show you what we are inserting into that table. So we've inserted into that table. So let's just do a quick select all and see whether the thing even inserted. So we do select all, right? X Abi, from what now? From Lagos _ customer, right? Guys, is it correct? Is it correct? Am I still here? Okay, some people are writing messages. Okay, attendance, please, if you have not filled your attendance, please fill your attendance. So let's run this code and see if this code works. So it's run successfully, but I'm not seeing that part where. Okay, guys, if you can see, this is it. So this is what we just installed now. If you look at it, there is a customer ID here, serially given by the database management system. These are the name we inserted. These are their last name. These are their emails. Is it good? Is there any magic that was done? Should we move forward?
We can. I'm just wondering, okay, since it's just a test platform, like why phone number is not included? Or maybe it's just me thinking.
Okay, so it's you to determine what you want. I mean, we just did this one for quick example. You can say you need their gender, you need their address, you need their phone number, anything you need, you can add it here. Just add it when you are creating the table, add it. Because if you come and add phone number here now, it won't work, it will bounce you. Why? Because you didn't give that space when you are creating the table in the first place.
So one more thing, sir.
Yes.
Is it now, if you look at where you put the serial, that's for the database management to assign number serially to the table.
Yes.
So is it possible to have a custom ID and the for example, now maybe I chose 002. So is it possible for the database to continue 003, 002? Is there a way I can actually input that code to allow that to happen aside just 123? Because I cannot identify someone with 123, but in the case where we have a custom ID as we've been teaching us, which is a unique number that is attached to a particular customer, do I need to be putting it manually, or there's a way I can arrange the code to allow it to, maybe if I start with 0053, then to continue with 0054, 0055. I don't know if I'm communicating.
Yeah, you are. I mean, it's making sense. Let me show you something. Right. So you see this part here now. There's what we call defaults, right? Defaults. Okay, let's see. Your own is default 001, right? Right.
Okay.
So if you put it that the default is 001 and you put it serial, right? The database will pick it from there and start adding to it. So you need to specify what is default. Then the software will tell you, okay, since this is default, I would move other numbers to take this alignment. Or you can put in the first information 001, right? And hard code it, right? Then you now tell the software to now serialize that. So it now keep adding numbers to that thing. But why are you doing 001, which is still 1? Or it can be from 2000. You can say okay, for instance, you can say your default number is 3000. So let it start from 3001. This works. You get, or it can be 5000, start from 5001. It can be 7,000, start from 7,001. So you need to provide a particular default value. Then the software will now pick it from there and they start assigning variables to the others. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's making sense. One more thing, just I don't know, just for clarity. This var variable character, does it mean like you explained? I just want to remember. I want to try and remember. Is it both number and the alphabet, digits and alphabet,
yes.
right?
Yes. It's
so
called
now,
variable character.
Then coming to this serial we're talking about now. So what if I try to use alphabet and digits? Would it still work serially?
No, that won't work serially. So it does serial for numbers. Anything that will increase progressively, that's what it does for. So it cannot work like that for varchar. Is that fine?
Please, sir, what about the hyphen by the side?
Which hyphen? This one's by the side.
The hyphen.
So I'm telling the software not to run that code. It's like I am trying to comment that line of code. You get, so that the compiler doesn't run it. Yeah, it's more like a comment.
Statement.
Yes, it's a comment.
Thank you.
Yes.
How do you do the multiple again, please? I forgot. I was trying to remember it after the last lecture.
If you are on Mac, you would hold Command and backslash, right? That one that is near shift. Command backslash. If I on Windows, you hold control backslash. But
Control
highlight
what?
it first, so highlight it, right? Then hold control backslash.
Okay, control backslash. Okay. All right, thank you. Control
All right. Any other question, guys, before we insert into other tables? Okay, so we are able to insert into our customer table. Now let's insert into our product table, guys. We know that we said insert into products, right? Product name and price. This is the product name, this is the price. This is the product name, this is the price. This is the product name, this is the price. Yeah. So why do we have this like this is because we said the price is decimal, right? And it is in 2 decimal places. So that's why you are seeing 0.00, 0.00. You get. So that's why you are seeing it like that. So we are going to insert all this into the customer, into the product table. Then let's see how that runs. Okay, it says successfully run. So let's check the product table and see whether all the things we've inserted, they are really there. So we are going to do select all from what now? From what, Kevin? From what? Is Kevin here?
Yes, sorry, I was distracted. I wasn't following exactly.
Okay, from products, right? From products. So we are trying to select everything we've inserted from into the product table. Let's see whether it was really inserted. So we see perfect. So you found out that it has a serial product ID, the name of the product, MTN bundle, Infinix Smart, whatever power bank, and the cost. So that was inserted correctly. So we are going to insert into other table. Any question? Okay, so we are going to insert. Okay, so we are going, let's insert into others table, and we are also going to insert into others table worked perfectly. Then we are going to insert into this other table now. Okay, I've been able to insert into other tables. So let's just look at it. Let's just look at the others table. Let's see what we inserted. We are going to select all from order. So we are going to run this now. Okay, so we've been able to take notes now, guys. You see that the date showed and the customer ID showed. Perfect. So we are going to comment this, and we are going to run the next code. All right, so we are going to run for the transactions now, and then hopefully that works perfectly. So we are going to do select all from what? From transactions, transaction. Okay, transaction. Why is it showing me there is a, okay, perfect. So this is everything we have in the transaction table. Guys, any questions so far? Any questions so far? So this is how, so when you start working for a company that has a database with all multiple tables, first thing you're going to be looking at is what table links to what. Get what table is referencing what. You get, if you can do that, I think your job is 7% done, because most times people just go into databases and start looking at, no, you need to know what am I looking at, what is linking to what table. And guys, I can combine all these things together and bring out information from them all. So let me write a code. I did that before, but let me do it. Let me copy these guys, and then paste it there. Let me paste it here. So this code, right, I want to connect all the tables together. I want to connect all the tables together and get an information from them all. I want to get information from all the tables at once. Why am I picking this guy? Sorry, guys. I'm copying this guy. I am pasting it here. Perfect. So this looks a bit foreign, but I would alter this code so that you guys understand it. I will alter this code so that you guys understand it. So this is what I will do now. I want to start from inside out, right? All these things you see, this 0, this O here, this C, this C, this P, this T, this T, they are called alias. Alias is more like you are naming something in a different way, but it's still the same thing. Now, the alias for Lagos is Echo. So that means if you go anywhere and you call Echo, everybody knows it's still what? Lagos. What example again am I going to use for alias? Who knows something that you can use alias for? But anything, if I say your name, AKA your name is this, or your AKA is something else. So that means I'm saying your alias is something else. Are we together? Why are people leaving the call?
Oh, we're here.
Here.
People are leaving the call. No?
It's network, most likely.
Oh, network. Okay, perfect. So now all these things you are seeing here, they are called alias. Now, for instance, I want to call Lagos customers to be C. So that means, okay, now let me write this code normally before I start making use of alias. So I will still write this code and I will call Lagos customers as Lagos customer. Now this is as Lagos underscore customers. But instead of writing this long, let me just put it as LC. So that means anywhere I see Lagos customers, the alias is LC. That is, I am identifying it to be LC. Are we there? Is this understood?
Abbreviation.
Sorry, I want to ask, is this a standard practice?
Yes, alias. When you work with large names, there are sometimes you cut it, just to cut it short, like an abbreviation. So I want to name this table, this column called gender to J or G. So anywhere I see gender, I will represent it as what? As G. So that's what's called alias. You call something, you identify something in a way, but it's only you that knows that this is what this thing means. Does that make sense?
It does, but I want to ask, so if I now want to convert my own Lagos customer, I will write it as LC and the code will run.
It will run. You can name it anything, but make sure you remember it and it's consistent. So I am naming my Lagos customer now to be LC. You get. Now I am naming my transaction now to be this thing here. There is AS here, but most times you can do without the AS, but it is written as as, so you can put AS here. So we are renaming or we are identifying transaction as T, right? We are identifying Lagos customers as LC. So anywhere I see Lagos customer, I'll put LC. Anywhere I see transactions, I'll put T. Anywhere I see products, I'll put P. Right? So we can do with the as, we may decide not to do with the as, but it will work. If you put AS, it will work like as. If it doesn't put AS, it will work. So what this means is this. Here, I have been able to give all these tables an alias, right? So I'm going to use them here now. So if you see O.order, what does O means, guys? If you come and look at the alias, O means what? Order. So you see order here. This order as O. O means order. So this means order.order ID. Does this make sense? Or let's just do it in full.
Makes sense, but I want to, okay, then the C means what? First name.
And C means C here. Lagos customer is represented as, okay, let's just put LC so that it won't confuse you. So that means we are going to change here to LC. This thing. Okay, guys, let's put it normally. Just let's keep it normally. So I will change here to order.order ID. I will change here to Lagos customer _customer dot first name.
Please,
Lagos
does the alias represent table names?
Yes, it can be. Yes, it is representing table names. No,
Not the
it is
field.
representing columns.
Okay, the fields.
Yes, the fields. So this here means order. Inside the order, there is an order ID. Here, inside the Lagos customer table, there is a first name. Inside the Lagos customer table, there is a last name.
Yes.
Yes, inside the product
product
table,
yes, there's a product
there
name.
is a product name. Inside the transaction table, there is a what? A transaction quantity. Inside the transaction table again, there is also
Total amount.
inside the order table, which is O now, there is what? There's an order date. Now, since we've changed all these ones now to their full name, that means we are going to change anywhere we see them here, we are going to be changing them to their what? To their full names. O is what? Order, Abi? Are we there? O is order, right?
We're there.
Would you say?
O is order. LC means Lagos
customer.
Sure, you see how it's taking time for us to write and write. So that's why the short form is good. O is order. O is order. I would explain this code. I just want you to understand. What is C?
C.
I thought supposed to be
last name.
I thought we were saying customer SC.
C is last.
You know, originally,
Lagos customer.
yes.
Now that's for the last name.
That's the last name. That. So T is transaction. Order O is order. I would explain all this in here. Don't worry. Transaction. Then P is product. P is transaction. While here also P is product. So let me explain this code now so that you guys can get it. I think all the shortcuts have been moved. So what this thing is saying, select inside. So we are linking all the tables together. That's why it will become messy now. Inside the order ID, right? Inside the order table, select order ID. Inside the Lagos table, and the Lagos customer table, select the person's first name. So you see now, I have gone from order table to Lagos customer table, Abi, two separate tables. But I want to pick out information from them. Still under the Lagos customer table, get the person's last name, Abi. Guys, I need feedback so I know that I am communicating.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You get the
Okay.
customer's last name.
Yes, so from the product table, get the product's name, right? From the transaction table, get the quantity, right? From the
Yes,
transaction
sir.
table, get the
Get the
total
total
amount.
amount. Yeah.
From the order table, get the order dates.
Yes, sir.
From order, right? From order. Now, this is the interesting part. So all these things now will not work if you don't join them. There should be a join. So this is where the foreign keys now become, because I told you the foreign keys are used to what? To connect two separate tables together, right?
Yes,
Are we
sir.
good on that? So now we want to join them. Join Lagos table at Lagos table on order.customer ID. So that means if you look at our table, right, there is a connection between order ID and customer ID. Now let's go back, let's go down, let's go and check our table, order ID and customer ID. So take note, we have this one here as the customer ID, and we also have it in order ID. So that's why I said this is the one that will link order with what? Customer ID. So that's why you are seeing here, join them on from the order table, bring the customer ID. From the Lagos table, bring the customer ID and join them together. Is it making sense? I know this is where people will now be doubting their salvation. Guys, are we here?
Yes, it does.
So this is what I was saying, that you will link, this is the work of the foreign key. So where order dot customer ID equals Lagos customer your customer ID, link both of them together. That's the first join. The second join is on transaction, right? Let's go back and look on transaction. There is a link between order ID and the transaction, the order and transaction table. Let's go back and look it. The order and transaction, right? Okay, now, perfect. This is order, this is transaction. What is the same in the two, both of them? You will see that there's order ID here, right? And there's order ID here. You see, so that is what is linking the two of them together. So back to our code, we will now say on the transaction side, look at order.order ID that equates to transaction.order ID. So that means there's a connection between the transaction table and the order table. That's our second join. Then the last join is on the product side. They said transaction and product. What is linking the two, both of them? Let's go back. Okay, this is the product table. This is the transaction table. Here, there's product ID, right? And here there's another product ID. So that is what's linking them. The product ID is what is linking the product table and the transaction table. So here now, that's how we said on products now,
Yeah, product ID.
link them on
Transaction
transaction.product ID
product ID.
must be equal to products.product ID.
Product ID.
This is the joins. This is how you link tables that are not related together, because one of them has a foreign key that you can use to link with them outside of that. Now, let's run this code. Hopefully it runs. This is not my code. You guys wrote this one. I hope it runs. I hope it runs. Let's see. Okay, there is an error somewhere. There's an error somewhere. Error is on order.
Order
So
underscore ID.
yes, order underscore ID. So guys, what is the problem here? Okay, let me highlight. So this is the idea, right? But let me highlight your own, right? And let me run my own that has alias. Yeah, let me run it and see. Because because most times if you don't get those spellings and all those things very well, you might hit a stumbling block. So I would paste that here. The same thing, but with different alias formats. But if you understand this one, you are going to understand this. This one is just, all these names here, I just changed them to something else. So let me run this code and see what it is like. Guys, you can see, right? Right? Who can see my screen?
I can see your screen. I can see it.
How about the rest persons? How many people do you see have a 13? Guys, I need feedback. I need feedback.
Yes, I can see the screen.
Okay. So if you can see now, I have joined almost all the tables. First name and last name is coming from the Lagos customer table bar, which is the C, which is C. C is the alias of Lagos customer table, right? The product name is coming from where? From the products, right?
P is the product name.
Quantity is coming from the transaction table.
Yes, sir.
The total amount, I
It's
think,
also
is
coming
coming
from
from
the
the transaction
transaction
table.
table. Yes, sir.
The order dates is
Coming
coming
from
from the
order
order
ID.
table.
Yes, sir.
The order ID is coming from the. So you see how when you go to MTN now and say MTN, check my last pushes, somebody will write a query like this to get all your transactions that you've done for the last 5 months. Now let's say I don't want to see everybody's information. I just want to see one person's information where order ID is equals to 2, right? So that's me doing filtering. I told you we can do filter, right? Filter is this one now we are selecting all, but we don't want to select all. We just want to select some specific persons, or we want to select some people that have done transaction that is above a particular amount. Okay, let's do it this way, guys. Kelvin, if I want to select somebody that has done a transaction above 20,000, what will I add to this code? I want to select somebody that have done a transaction, a total transaction that is above 20,000. Now, this is transaction cost, amounts here. We have 7,000, we have 52,000, we have 24,000. If I want to get a total amount that is above 20,000, how will I write that code? Who knows?
Select all from.
No, let's use this one. Let's use this one. Let's just put something. Let's add something into this code, whether it will work. If we say where, let's just put where total cost, right? Where T dot total
Transaction.
total underscore amount is greater than what? 20,000. 20,000. Guys, will this work? So which ones are we expected to see here now? We are going to see
52,000 and 24,000.
24,000 and 52,000.
2 and 3. Number
okay,
2 and 3.
Let's run and see whether this will work. Perfect.
Yeah.
You know, so you can do this and expand your code in a way whereby you can now query for some people's cost. If I say, okay, I want something less than, if I do less than 20,000, which one will it bring?
We bring number one
7,000.
for you, 7,000.
It will bring 7,000. Others, are we getting this thing? You see, so if business comes and tells, okay, guys, we need people who are buying data less than 7,000. Let's know them. Can you give us what they with this query now? We can query all tables, and push it to business, and they will clap for you. But you need to understand. That's why those things I shared with you, those books, please read it very well. Aliases are good because it helps your work go easy. And joins, there are three kind of joins which I would highlight. They are inner join, outer join, and then normal join. Wait, there is join, inner join, and outer join. I think I have that here. Let me just quickly look for that joins. But if you have that book, please read it. Read it. I think there's somewhere we have that joins. I don't think it's here. Okay, this is not where I was reading it. I was actually trying to reading it today so that when we come on this call, I would show you guys what it is, but I don't think it's here. But there are three major kind of joins. Three major kind of joins. Okay, I think I would share that. I will share that as a resource later on so that we can look at. So far, are we good? Are we good, guys? Any confusion so that I sort it out before we move on? Are we good? So
Yes, we are.
we are able to implement something like this now. You get, and link them together. You see how we've linked every of those tables together in our code. Now, this is what will take us to designing of a database. Let me just quickly explain database designing. Yes. Now, what I just did the first time, you get, is conceptualizing my idea for the database. So we have, how do we design databases? Your databases should be designed in a way whereby you are easily able to gather information with less query. All these things we are doing, select this. If you run that thing on Google Cloud, for every select you do, you are paying for it. Your company is bearing a cost for it. So just know that you can't just go and do select all from. What if you are going to select over 1 million rows or 1 million data inside the data sets? So that means your company will get BC on your head. So most times, as I said in the last class, it's good not to run a select all because you don't know the amount of people, the amount of information that will come. Now, before we go here, now let me show you something. Let's say I want to, if I did this normally, right? If I did this one normally, right, I would select everything, Abi. Right, I picked three of them, but what if I want to just pick one? There's a keyword I will use here now. I will use the keyword limit. Limit one. This means there are a lot of data, but I just want one of that information to be displayed to me. This is a new thing you learned today. Please note it. So when I run this code, I wouldn't see everything. I'll just see only one person's information. Is this clear? I say, let me just come back here. So there are a lot of keywords like that in SQL. but I'm just trying to use the ones I remember at this point and the ones that is useful, right? And also we can even use mathematical operators, less than, greater than, less than equal to, greater than equal to. You can use that in your own time. Again, I'm also available. I will show you my LinkedIn my LinkedIn profile account. So anybody that has problems can just DM me. I will respond. But based on the time we have, that's why I'm trying to touch everything. But SQL is one of the major skills that you can get, whether you are a database engineer, a DBA, a data analyst person, you are a data engineering person, you are an analytical engineering person, you work with DBT, you work with Snowflakes, even you work with AWS Dynamos, both on premise and in cloud, Oracle. SQL is one language that if you can build up your skill in SQL, I think you are 30% good for a job. Then you can just put a bit of Excel, a bit of Power BI, a bit of Python. Then you are teaching into a data analyst or a data engineer. Then you can add Airflow for your orchestration and a whole lot of tools out there. But whatever you are learning, if you hold SQL very well, till tomorrow, organizations still use SQL. All right. So I'll go back to my presentation. Any question on that before I come back to my presentation, guys? Questions? Okay, so how do you design your database? Firstly, you need to do what we call requirement analysis. Excuse me. They've called you as an engineer to come and build a database. You don't just jump writing, create database, create tables, create schema. No, you must gather requirements. Who study the business operations? What are they into? What kind of data do they store? What kind of interaction do the people have with the database? Who has access to the database? For instance, a customer reached out to us one time that they need a database access monitoring software, that they want to know who and who accesses their database. So that is a tool on its own that we are selling to the customer to help him identify and monitor their databases, because they don't want just anyhow person to be accessing that database. That's on the sidelines. So you need to get to requirement analysis, study the business operation, determines what data storage they might need. Some people that are not even due for big data storage, you see them going to buy big data storage when they can just use maybe an on-prem Postgres or MySQL server for their products. There was one I built those days after school. Somebody wants to build an internal system in school and they need a database. I just ran a local database system for them and it was working perfectly. But that's not scalable, because if they want to make it larger now, it might not work. Then I'll need to come back to scale it up. Then after requirement analysis, you now go conceptual design. You create simple data models using entity relationship diagrams. That thing I just showed you that is linking one table to the other. That is called an ERD, an entity relationship diagram, to map entities, what links to what table links to what foreign key links to what. That's a conceptual design, like concepts. Then you now go to the logical design. At this point, you define details about your tables, about your columns, about your primary keys, about your secondary key, foreign keys, and the database structure. That is, you are becoming logical. Now, before we started writing that code, I have showed you a diagram. That diagram is the conceptualized design of my database in writing. So when I start writing my SQL now, oh, okay, this is my table, these are my columns, these are my primary keys, and all the database structure. I am doing a logical design. Then the number 4 is the physical design. This is implementing your database. This is now writing the actual code. So you gather your requirements, you conceptualize your requirement, ask all the necessary questions, bring your paper, do your rough sketches. After that, you do your logical design about your tables, columns, and primary and foreign keys. Then you do a physical design. This is now implementing your database either in the cloud or on-prem. So this image here just shows you the various layer, the stages, the conceptualized design, and what, and the physical design after you've done your requirement gathering. Any questions so far? Guys, any question?
So far.
Okay. So what I'm trying to do, I'm just trying to get important things that I think you should know. So a database entity diagram can look like this. It can start like this, so guys, it can start like this, just few tables. And at the end of the day, it can be like this. I'm sure there are some companies that this how their diagrams look like. But it's better you have this because you know what works and what doesn't work and where an issue would likely come from. Or even if you don't know, you can trace back where the problem is likely going to come from. So this is for bigger organizations. Okay. I would give room for questions. I give room for questions before we just quickly go back to our practicals and do some other few things here and there, and we'll call it a night so you guys can rest. I'm sure it's been a long day for everyone. Yeah, any questions on these guys on our practical side? Any questions? So what I want you guys to do for me now, right? Please, everyone, go and download Postgres. Go and download Postgres, right? The
Sir,
download. Yes.
yes, sir. Yeah, I have downloaded Progress, but I'm having issues with the installation. That is where the major problem is right now. Because each time
Okay,
I try,
go on, finish up, sorry.
yeah, okay, each time I tried installing it, it always bring up an option asking me for login. That's to create a password. And after I created a password, he just told me, took me to another place where he asked me to select the packages. I did that, and at the tail end, he told me installation successful. But to access it on my system, now if I click on it, it will take me back to the beginning of installation. So
What's your type of listening? Is it Mac or Windows? Which listener are you using? Laptop?
it's Windows, sir.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's have a sync after now. I'm sharing my LinkedIn profile, guys. If you have problems, please reach out to me. I'm sharing my LinkedIn so that I can do that for you. At least if you get that sorted out, all other things you can now start doing your own personal practicals. I have sent my LinkedIn portfolio on the call. So just let's talk about it. Then I would have a sync with you. And if any other person needs a personal sync with me on setting up your product, your what's it called, your software, please reach out to me because those things I shared you guys some books. I shared you guys some videos also. Please follow that book. If you can finish that book and you are sound in SQL, I believe you have invested well in your capacity for 2026. I believe you have invested well in your capacity for 2026. You get, read those books, follow up everything. If you have questions, please, I am just a DM away. I will respond to you. I am busy, but for people like you that are investing your time, I create time for you also. Right. So we can do that together. When you guys, when you have that sorted. Okay, so let's quickly just do few things. Let's just pick up a random company, let's say a school or something. Let's just play around. let's play around now. Let's play around with our database creation. Let's create more tables. Let's create other connections and do a bit of hands-on before we call it a night. Okay, all right. I would okay, you said you sent me a connection. So I sent you a LinkedIn invite last. Oh, okay. I'll check it. Steven, Abi, okay. Let me check it after this call. I would accept that. All right, so let's just quickly play around now. Everybody should tell me what they've learned so far with what we've done, and how you will tell me that is done is tell me how to create a table. Tell me what columns you want in the table. Tell me how we can link. So let's start with Michael Edede. Can you talk? I'm just seeing you for the first time. If you are not available, let's go with Fatima. Hi, Fatima. So with your knowledge of table creation, can you just give us a piece of code that we will use to create any table of your choice? Fatima, are you there? Okay, Fatima is not there. Ferdinand, can you talk?
That's really tough here now. It's a bit noisy.
So I didn't get your question, sir.
I said, let's just create few tables. Let's just play
Okay.
around with table creations. So that's why I'm asking people to give me what the table they would like to create. Then we can, and they give me the source code so that we can create it.
Okay, I work with an ISP, and
Okay.
I would love to have a table containing a list of my customers, then
Okay.
their subscription plans, and okay, I notice you are writing, so I just want to
Yeah.
be listing it one after the other so that I don't end up missing it up. So, like,
Go on. Finish up.
okay. I said customers list. There I will
List of
have their
customers.
names.
Okay. That has their names.
Yes,
Their
their
names.
name.
Yes.
Yes, their phone numbers.
Their phone number.
Their email address.
Their email.
Then their house address.
Their house address.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is simple customer table you want to create. Perfect.
Yes,
So apart from this, what do they do as customers? They buy subscription,
yes,
right?
yes. They buy subscription, sir.
So what if we add another table called subscriptions table?
Yes, that's a very good one,
So
sir.
that means each customer can buy a subscription, Abi?
Yes, they can, sir.
So what are the various types of subscription?
We have 1.5, 1.5 Mbps, 2.5 Mbps, 3.5, 4.5, and so on, sir.
Okay, 1.5, 2.5 MB, then let's say 5 MB, let's say then 20 MB for the, let's keep it at this. Okay, what else do they buy again as customer? They pay, right?
Yes, sir, they pay, sir.
They pay. So let's do transactions now. Transactions. So with this one, we know who buys what. Again, there's a transactions table. Any other thing?
Okay. For this transaction, I think we are going to match it with the pricing, right, sir?
Yes, we are going to match the pricing. Yes, you're correct. So guys, we are doing this together. You see how we are putting thoughts together. Then let's just do it together. Everybody put us together. Let's create some like a value for him and his business. All right. So transactions. Okay.
Yes. Well, let's take 8,000. That is for the
Okay.
amount.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. No, let's put for subscription. Let's
Yes.
put size of the subscription then the
Okay.
amount for the subscription.
Oh, wow. That's
So it's from this amount now, we will now see the
okay.
transaction any of the customers have done.
Okay.
Okay, I like this. So let's just so what we are doing now, we are trying to get requirements. So every customer must have a customer ID first. Customer ID. Okay. Then their name, email, phone number. Now, these guys that has customer ID buys either of these products, Abi,
Yes, sir.
either of this subscription. So
Yes, sir.
what if we have subscription ID, subscription ID, subscription underscore ID, then the size of the subscription and the
Amount.
amount of the subscription.
Okay.
Then we can now use our normal transaction table here to create that transaction. So let's play around. So we want to say create table. We call it ISP customers underscore customers, so that we don't have so many tables there called customers.
Okay, sir.
Okay, ID customer. So we want to first of all get the customer ID. Okay. We want to say, okay, let's be serial. Let the type of data be serial, Abi.
Yes, sir.
Yes. And it should be our primary key, right?
Yes, sir.
Other guys, are we listening? Are we here so that we all put minds together? Then we
Yes,
want
we are
their
with you.
okay, their first name, let's just keep it shorthand. Their first name is Vaka. Yes, let's keep it at 50. Size should be 50. Okay. Comma. We have their last name. Take note, I'm just trying to write in shorthand. This is Vaka. Vaka. Okay, we give it 50. Okay, then their phone number. Phone. Let's keep it at Vaka also. Let's just keep it at Vaka. Say 20. Effectively. Then let's do put in the email. The email is also a Vaka. Then it's let's keep it at 60. Then the last one is their house address. Their house address. Okay, let's keep it Vaka. Let's keep it at 100 in case some people's house address is long. So I think this should serve. Guys, are there something we are missing, or is there something we missed out? All the professionals, is there something we missed out?
No, sir. Everything is
Okay.
there.
Hopefully this runs. Let's commit to our database. Okay, it ran. All right, so perfect. We've created our customer table. So if we refresh our table, we will likely see our ISP. It's not there. Oh, where did you create it? Oh, hold on.
ISP customer query.
Oh, sorry. I created it in another database in TBC. So how did I know? You see on top here, this is the code. This is tbc/postgres/dis.
Yes, yes.
So there's a database called TBC. Now this is
TBC, yes.
TBC now. So this is where it was created instead of somewhere. So I'll go to TBC now. I'll go to TBC. I'll go to let me see at DIS. Okay. I'll go to let me refresh TBC first. Then let's see. It's showing public. Okay, see it there now. You see, it's showing here. So now, how do you? Because at times it can be confusing whereby you create a table, you don't even know where the table is. Just look at this top here. You will see the TBC is your database name. The
Can you
slash
come again?
is
I didn't understand that one.
okay.
How
So
you were able
when
to
okay, so how when there are sometimes when you create a database or a table, you don't know where your table is. You get, but to identify it, just look at the up tab here. Right, TB, this first one is the database, right? While the next one is is the schema, right? So what this means now, let me just tell you what this one means now. TBC slash slash Postgres, right? So this means go to TBC, right? So then the default schema is this one that's called public, right? That's the default. So that's the Postgres default schema. Okay, so that's why it's called TBC slash Postgres. So Postgres default schema, you open it, that's where your table is stored, is saved. You get. Now let's look at this one, guys. What do you think will be this query? Where will this query be?
Be on progress. If you
So
go
what this
progress,
means is Postgres, which
yes,
is this
Postgres,
Postgres table.
yes,
Then Postgres is now public. This is the name
public
of
schema.
database. This is the public. If it wasn't stored in public, you will see something else here. But if it's Postgres, that's Postgres default schema, which is what the public schema. So that's why you find it inside Postgres. Inside Postgres, you go to the public schema. You will now see all your tables in the public schema. This is this. Is that clear?
Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So back to our work. So we've been able to create this table. Then we want to create another table called subscriptions. So I will just copy this guy. Feel free to copy, and then I'll highlight it. Then I'll come down here and I'll paste it and say, okay, this is subscriptions, then subscription ID. Let's just give it a sub ID. Sub ID is this. The first one is the size of this. Is the size. Let's do the size. Okay, size is a keyword. Okay, sub size. Let it be sub size. Sub underscore size. Then sub underscore amount. Sub underscore amount. All right. So
Sorry, sir.
that's
I want to ask a question. You know, when you said order was a keyword, you put something on top.
apostrophe on top, Abi.
Yes. So why are
Okay.
you now doing it like this?
Okay, I mean, let's try it. There's no harm in trying. In my head, let's try it, Abi.
Yes.
If it fails, if it
Oh.
so let's try that. Let's try it. So I think we are good with all those subscription. Okay. Let's run
Sorry,
this
sir.
thing.
Size is not a keyword now. Why are you putting it in quotes?
Size is a keyword. Look at it.
Is a keyword.
Yeah, it's a keyword.
Okay, it's showing red. Okay.
Yeah, it's showing red. So hopefully this one works. Courtesy Amaka has said you should put it here. So hopefully it works. Okay, it's saying okay. Or syntax this. So but amount cannot be varchar. Let's put amount to be decimal. Let's start. Now this is how to solve errors from the known to the unknown. We put decimal and put decimal in in 10,2. That means you're putting it in units. Okay, let's hope this works. There's still error. Amaka, let's change this to sub first.
Well, cancer is also not vivat.
Sir,
Yes,
is this decimal supposed to be a comma or a dot?
it should be a comma.
Okay.
It should be a comma. Look at it. So that means it's telling you that it's a 2 decimal places. You can put as much as 10 digits, but it's going to be 2 decimal places.
Okay, okay. Well understood now, sir.
So I will highlight this guy and I will run it. It's still showing error. So guys, let's look for our errors in this code. It's saying syntax error near. Okay. All right, let's see. There's a comma here. Since this is the last, I don't think we need a comma here. Right?
Yes, it's the end of the
Okay.
code.
So let's run it again and see. Now it's good we're having this error, so you know what works. So that means
That's
if you
error,
have a
yes.
comma at the end of your last stuff, it will not
It will
run.
not run.
Okay, we've created 2. Then let's create our transactions. Let's create our transaction. Let's just copy this our transaction code. All right, let's just retweak it. Highlight this one. Then we say, okay, this guy has a transaction. Let's just put transaction ID trans. Let's put TSN transaction. I'm not trying to use short form to write this. Transactions serial. So we have the customer ID. So that means we want to link the customer ID. We need to link the customers and the subscriptions, Abi. So
Yes.
here we put the customer ID. Customer ID. It's an int. It's going to link customer. It's going to link ISP customer, right? Right?
Yes, sir.
That's the name that we used. And then at what point will it link it? It will link it in customer ID, Abi?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we'll just put customer ID here. So I think that's the only thing we need to link because these are the 2 tables we have. Okay, so we'll just put this one off. We don't need this table. Let's say the quantity. Okay, then we say the total amount is this. All right, I would run this guy now. Then we see what works. Successful. Perfect. So we've created 3 tables, one for customers information, one for the subscription, and one for the transaction.
Yes, sir.
Now, can we see what the table looks like?
Okay, so let's select all from each of them and let's see what it looks like. So I'll just do select all from let's say transaction first. Let's do transaction. Start from the node. So it will likely be empty. So it's empty. Transaction ID, customer ID. So it's empty. Again, let's see transactions. Select all from subscriptions. So subscriptions. And also make sure you are spelling correctly so that you don't give yourself undue stress. This is what the table look like. Then let's select all from customer. I think I copied that in before. ISP, edit ISP underscore customer. So this should now show us it's this. Perfect. So now let's quickly insert. Let's quickly insert then, so that we call it a night. People have already left us in this. Let's quickly insert. Is that fine, guys?
Yes, sir.
Hey, what's up?
Okay. So let's quickly insert. So I will go and edit a code. Now you see how I'm making it easy. I will look where I did my insertion earlier. Then I bring it. Let's insert into. Let's use this one. I will take it up so that I'll be seeing what I did. So let me paste it here. But just know that I am trying to paste it here so that we're able to see what we need to put into the database. I would uncomment this. So we need to install into customer ISP, but you copy this one, you paste it here. Then we need their first name, so we spelled it like FM. We need their last name, we spell it like this. We need their phone number. Okay, we need their phone number, right? Comma. We need their house address. We need their house address. So, comma, house underscore address, right?
Yes, sir.
So which values do you want to put? So let's leave first name, last name. It's fine. Let's leave email. Let's just put phone number here. You can put phone number 081374744240. That is person's phone number, and the person's house address is number this
Road 7.
5 road 7 VGC Lekki. Okay, so we will just copy this one and just edit it so that we are not over typing stuff. Okay. Sorry, I'm just quickly do this. Then I paste that guy. Then I change you. Shuku. Don't just put Toby. Toby. Let's put Toby Balogun. Balogun. Just change one number here to this. Toby B. T.B. at gmail.com. This one lives in road 7, road 6, Agungi. So we can keep adding and adding and adding, but let's keep it on just these two so that we don't overstretch ourselves. So if you look at it and everything seems okay, you run the code and then do this. They said the problem here. So what's the
There's a
problem, guys?
syntax
Let's
error.
start looking at error. What do you guys think is the error? There's no what?
The
No, that's
email
the email.
address, I think.
Look at this part. It's pointing something here. Between
There's no comma. There's no comma.
There's no
Okay,
There's
comma
no comma
between the
between the
email
phone
and the
number
phone
and
number.
the email. Yes.
Perfect. The same thing for this one also. There's no comma. So we've added comma. So spotting errors also is one of your best skills you can get. There are some people, their job is just QA, just to find errors in code like this. So perfect, so it's working. The ability to spot errors is also a game changer for you. So if we select all from ISP subscription, we should be able to get our thing, something we just inserted now. So select all from ISP subscription. So this should be perfect. Yeah, so we are able to get the first information from your guys, your ISP customers.
What is it?
So the next thing now is to look out for, the next one is to subscriptions, right? So let's insert into subscription. So I would comment this and let's just put it down here so that we are seeing what we need to do. So we say insert into, right, into subscription, right? So what are we inserting into subscriptions? Sub ID. Guys, are you still with me? Sub ID. We have sub size. And we have sub amount. Sub amount. So what are the values we are inserting? Values. Okay. All right, so what values are we inserting, guys?
Oh. Sub ID.
Sub ID is serial, so that one will be put by itself by the compiler. So the sub size, let's say they are doing 1.5 MB. You get, and what's the cost of 1.5 MB?
Let's say 10,000.
10,000. Is 10,000 going to be, so it will be like this, 10,000. Let's say
you're putting the size, you're putting the sub ID and the cost together. Well, you did not indicate that you are going to put the cost.
This is cost, this is sub amount.
Okay, sub amount, sorry.
Yeah, sub amount is there. So let's just put one more, then we'll go, let's say 20 MB, 20 MB. Okay, put it inside the port, 20 MB. Then we do, want to be like 25,000, 25,000. Then, okay, let's run this code and see any errors, guys. Are we good?
Yes.
Okay, let's run this code. I've added something. I want you guys to figure the error out. What do you think is the error, guys?
Why did you put another bracket at the end when there was no extra brackets in the beginning?
At the top of B?
Yes.
Okay. Smart eyes. All right. I will run it again. Insert into sub amount. What's the error now?
There's no comma after 25.
There's no comma.
There's no comma where?
After the 25 or 25,000, I mean.
No. That one doesn't need comma because that's the last one.
Yeah, that's the end of it. Okay.
So just look at this. Each time you have an error, look at what they are saying here. He said line 1, insert into subscriptions, sub ID. He's trying to highlight.
Supposed to be 3 items, I think.
It's highlighting sub ID, so the problem is in sub amount. I mean, it's highlighting sub amount, so the problem is in sub amount. But so
okay, guys, so take notes. Now we
have to put in 3 digits, but we don't have sub ID. We have sub amount, but we don't have exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Supposed to be 3 items, not 2. We're having 2 instead of 3.
Okay, so what if I tell you that if this one is serial, we don't need it here. Sub ID is serial, and we still put it here. So that's the wrong thing to do. So the compiler would put in sub ID for us. So we don't need sub ID here.
Okay.
Why? Is because if you look at what we created earlier, we said let sub ID be serial. So the compiler helps us to put in our sub ID. So there's no need to start imputing sub ID. So we just put only this. Okay, we even did it here. We just put the size and the amount, but on top of here, we want to include that sub ID. So that's where it was projecting error. I mean, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes,
So
sir.
let me just run this one, and then hopefully it runs successfully. So let's do a select all and see what we have inside. So those that said we should put sub ID, that is serial, you will see that it will impute sub ID for us by itself, because it is what it is called serial as data type. Let me just copy these guys and paste it here and do this. Then I will run this code and I say this. You see our this and this. Okay. Okay. Are we tired?
We're still here.
Only one person. Guys, we can still be here to midnight. So you guys know that.
We are
All right, let me just
I'm with you.
okay.
Come here
Let's
to
just
tomorrow. We are good.
let me just do one. So we have another insertion to do. That should be for transactions, right?
Yes.
Let me just go and pick up the last transactions insertion we did. Then we can just move from the okay, perfect. This is what we did first. So I'll copy it, I'll go and paste it where we did our transaction so that we have it
Please, for
close
my
by.
software, I've not been able to get this page where I can type things.
But you can see this main page is Abi. You can see this part, Abi.
Yes. Let me screenshot and send now.
Okay, screenshot and send on the chat. I will show you what to do. Please, guys, if you have errors, let us know. Let's resolve it here, because I am looking forward to be seeing your databases. Send me DM on LinkedIn. Let me see what you are working on and what you are creating. It will be my joy that you guys are doing amazing work with databases. All right, as we are waiting for you, let me just quickly do a quick insertion to our transaction table. So firstly, we have transaction ID, which is a serial number. We don't need to insert it. Then we have custom. Yeah.
I've sent my screen.
Okay, let me quickly look at it. I'm trying to do this. Okay. Perfect. I know where you are right now. So look at where you are right now. Like this, right? This is your own now, right? Just look at my left-hand side.
Yes, exactly.
So now this arrow here, this arrow that is there,
Yes.
check it. It will open like a sub unit for you.
Yes,
right?
subfolders. Yes.
So how many listen do you have here? Databases do you have there?
I have okay, so let me screenshot it. I have Postgres 18 databases, login group rows and table spaces.
Okay, and like this, Abi. So now databases, how many is beside your database as number?
Nothing.
Okay, so you need to create database now. So what you will do to create database, you go to that database, you right click, right?
Okay.
Then you see
Great.
database, create database.
So if I right click on it, okay, create. Okay, I've seen that. Create database. Yeah, so it's actually, I think this is where I was lost. Database name. Okay. Let me just put a name. Michael.
Okay. So another way to do it, hold on, is that you can go to your let me see. There should be a way to create this one. Let's hold on. Okay, so what you do, right? Open your database, Then
Yes,
the
sir.
first one there should be Postgres, because that's your default,
Database.
database. Open it.
Yes. Open it.
Okay, so once you see that, so left click it or right click it or left click anyone, just to show you these options, right?
Yes.
Then go
So,
to query tool.
okay, sorry, I think I have three because there was one I created Michael, but now let me show you what I'm having. Instead of me to have a clear plain page, I'm having this like stats and all of that. Let me just screenshot again and send.
Okay. Sorry guys, let's just help him get out from
I've
this
sent it
setup.
now.
Okay, let's just help him out to get it. Okay, perfect. So that means your database. So this is showing that you've created a database. So that means you have Michael database. That's a database. So you have 3 databases already. You have Michael, you have Postgres, you have you have PostGIS, you have Postgres, which is the default database. So now to open something like this, right?
Oh, okay. I think I've got it.
I would assume.
Okay.
Have you sorted it out?
No, because I click on the I don't know what I should call them. Like having the taskbar on that computer, the one on top that has dashboard, properties, SQL. So I click on SQL now. So it shows me I'm seeing some code, but I can't edit. But I think I can edit now.
Hold on. So those ones are the ones that have been there before. So what you do for me, go to Michael, right?
Okay.
That first one, you click on it. Look at all these things that are here.
Yes.
So now go to query tool. This is where you can now see an interface that you can now write your own code.
Sorry, please come again from that one.
Go to any of your either Michael, PostGIS or Postgres, but do it on Michael. Then you right click.
Okay.
These options will show, right?
Okay. Yes.
Then go to query tools.
Okay. Let me do that in a minute. Yes, I can type now.
Yeah, you can type. So these points now, you can now type all those: create schema, create table, you get, then start writing all your code. So I think you are good. So use the text I shared with you, the textbook I shared with you. Every information you need to create your databases is there.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Okay, back to so that just end up in the next 5 minutes. We should be out here in the next 5. Hopefully we get all this sorted out. So we were trying to insert into our transactions table. Trying to insert into our transactions table. So we have insert into transactions. So ours is TXN. So we need to transaction ID is serial, so we don't need to put it. We need to put the customer ID. Okay, customer ID. Okay, we need to put quantity. Quantity of that was bought. Int. Okay, we need to now put total amount. Okay, all right. So this is what we have. We don't need this one. We don't need this one. We don't need this one. So what we just needed is customer ID, the quantity bots,
Quantity and then
total
the amount.
um, total amount. Okay, let's just keep this tentatively. Hopefully it wants. So yes. So when we put this, they said an error happened. So guys, key customer equals to 3 is not present in the ISP.
Yes.
So that means
We only have 2 customers and now we are putting for 3.
three.
That is
You
here
get
this.
so. And what is it? What is it again? We inserted only 2 customers. That it has
Yes.
only 2 serial numbers, but we are now
Yes.
putting another customer, so we will have to
Problem.
move out this one, right? So hopefully this works perfectly now. Thank you so much. I mean, that's to show you that you are mastering these things. You look at errors, you say, okay, this is where the problem is coming out from, then we fix it. So let's select all from transactions and see where we are with that. So select all from TSN. Hopefully we get it sorted out and then boom. So guys, we are going to stop here because the more we go, the more we see. But as I said, I am available if you want. If I mean, I can only answer you if I see that you are doing something. If you come and tell me that's how you are starting again, I may not answer you. So I may not answer you if you've not at least downloaded your Postgres, because I want to know you're actually making progress. You get. So I am a DM away on LinkedIn. Message me. I want to see what you are building on SQL. I have resources most times that I give out to people to just learn with. I would also give you if I have you as a connection on LinkedIn. So please, guys, any questions before we call it a night so that we can rest for tomorrow movements? Questions, guys?
I have plenty of questions.
Yeah, please shoot. Let's.
Number one is under my database, aside the schemas where we've been working on, we have other tables or I don't know, catalog or what we call it, event triggers, extensions, foreign data wrappers, languages, cars, catalogs, subscriptions. What are the works of those tables? Oh, we're not there yet. Are we still
Those
going to
ones
get there?
are-
Or we're not there yet.
we will get there hopefully in the
Okay.
next in our next class. But all these
Then,
things are they are like full course on their own, because I need to explain what they do, how they do it, triggers. Okay, if something happens, so how will the DB respond? Extensions, are we linking out something outside our database? Data wrappers, in
okay.
case we want to import a kind of data, how do we want to wrap them? Language publications, you get under schema alone, we have a lot around schema. We have the aggregations, domains, a lot of things are happening here. The materialized. And so what we do, we are going to get here, hopefully explain each concept for you, but your major work is to know how to insert, retrieve, update data. Yeah, but this one will come along the line in the course of the training. But for now, let's keep it whole. But if you want to go extended studies, I mean, you are free to go. But I think we need to cover this one sometime.
Okay, so my second question is, now the SQL, the page admin, that's the one we're currently working on,
Yes,
is on
please.
our local system. So
Yes.
how do we publish it in a way where it becomes something global? I don't know whether what I'm saying is making sense in a way. Because this
Okay,
is,
so
if I'm working on my system, it's for me alone. How does it become something how do the company connect on that database?
okay, so your database, if you work for a company, okay, let me give a real life example. When you work for a company, it's two things. Either their database is somewhere in the cloud. It can be AWS, GCP, or Azure. It can be in the cloud. So you will have what we call a database client, like your PD admin. So there's a connection string that you will get from your head of database or your head of security in your office. They will give you that string to connect to the database in the online. So what happens is any changes you do in your local database, you commit it to maybe your repo, you get, or something that helps you guys check your code base before it goes live. Yes, so your company has all those DevOps. It's called DevOps. Every operation you need to make your work simple. If you work for an organization, they will show you how you are going to write your codes, how we are going to push your code, how we are going to test your code, and then that would be how you guys work. So for now, you are going to be working locally because you are not working for any company. But when you work for a company, all those things are actually set for you. They will give you what you are going to use. That thing would have enough of security attached to it so that you don't go and push bad data to their database or trying to poison the database. So at some point, you will get it from your company and how to use your online databases in cloud.
Okay, sorry, one more. I want to rephrase the question in a way. Now, let me put this as an example. For example, now, don't let me use complaint so that I want to personalize that, which will be very clear. Okay, let me say my church now, for example. We have members, right? The members, whatever. So now I want to create a database for the members, for example. Input all their data and all of that. So how do I allow maybe the pastorate to access the database without having access to my system? Is it possible?
Okay, yes. So I still get it. It's the same thing I answered earlier. This thing you are doing on your local now, there are some online databases you can have access to. For instance, DynamoDB uses SQL. You get, so you can buy a subscription on Dynamo because you will not have people to come and be looking at your laptop to see your data.
Yes.
So you need to host your data somewhere in the cloud for everybody to see. So that means you need to buy data storage from AWS, then use AWS DynamoDB. I think they also have.
So how do I export my local to the server or to the cloud? How do I
So
export it to the cloud?
there's an export here. There's export data. I think I showed some people here. So there's exports. You see, there's exports. Look at my screen. Can you see my
Okay.
screen?
Yes, I
There's
can see that.
exports, but most times it's not good to now export import. So most times there is a connection to a remote server. You can actually anything you are doing is appearing on that online server in real time. Do you understand?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes, I'm getting it.
sometimes when you are done with your whole SQL, you can export your SQL commands somewhere. But there are some you need to connect straight up to your server in the cloud. It can be AWS or GCP. So there's a connection string that you are going to use to connect directly to your servers without you exporting and importing always.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Any other person? Okay, in the absence of that, thank you guys. I think we've come to the end of the session tonight. It's been a long evening so that we can rest and get ready for work tomorrow. All right, have a wonderful time. And then I am questions away. If you have questions, please reach out to me. Then I can unblock you. Thank you guys and have yourself a wonderful evening. I don't know if anybody is around to take it up.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Joachim. That was really great. It was a really insightful session. Please let's all appreciate Mr. Joachim in the comments on the chat box, please. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Um, so the material for this program and also the recording will be posted subsequently, before the next class, which will be Saturday by 10 a.m. So please ensure to get this on the group and make sure to practice before the class. Thank you so much. Have a nice night, everyone. Thank you.